And now I'm back down with the feeling, and I can lie. You know it won't be long until the end. Let the spotlight shine on me again.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to do some graphics on the 2014 Kawasaki KX450. Let's get to work. So we've been working on this KX450 for a minute. It's nice and clean. We got the new tires and a few little things done. Cleaned it up really good. So I got some graphics that are going to complement the blue. So let's go ahead and pop these plastics off. It's a little cold outside, so we're going to do this inside today. And I won't subject you to the actual application. So I think what I'll do is I will just pull these plastics off, take them inside, and start to apply. And we'll go over each piece and how I do it just briefly, and then I'll apply off camera. So we got all the plastics on the sides off. I'm going to leave the front fender on because it's easier actually just to apply your plastic or your graphics on the front fender when it's mounted up. Keeps it still and keeps it up off the ground. Same with the back fender. It's kind of a pain in the ass to get that on and off, so I'll leave that on the bike and I'll just apply it. There's a little bit of dust from sitting, so make sure before you do your application that you use a clean microfiber and some brake parts cleaner to wipe everything down and get all the dust and dirt off of them. Otherwise, you'll get bubbles and delamination whenever you try to activate the adhesive with your heat gun. After a little while, the bike or the plastics will start to peel off and not do their job. So make sure they are clean. I actually, when I prepped this bike, I pulled all the plastics off and scrubbed them down with dish sponge and some dish detergent. So just any Dawn or any other kind of soft soap dish detergent that'll degrease will work, and it'll bring your plastics back to life, especially if you hit them with some sort of plastic renewal after that. Keeps it super clean. So just a tip. All right, so far we got the number plate, the fork guards, and the shroud. These are a little bit thinner, so there's a couple benefits to either or. The thinner ones you can manipulate a little bit more, and then the thicker ones are easier to apply with less bubbles. But when it comes to the contours of the newer bikes, the thinner ones are a little bit easier because you can manipulate them around all the curves, like the contour and the number plate. And this is a two-piece shroud. This is a cheaper kit, so I'm going to have to send some feedback regarding the fitment because the holes didn't quite line up over here, but they did over here. This one's a little bit off. This one's good, but I started on this side, lined up this hole, and then kind of manipulated it across here. And whenever I got over here, this side was a little too long. And I didn't even heat this section right here whenever I was applying it because I didn't want it to stretch and throw these holes off. But it's still, they were still off. But the upper section went on pretty good, hole lined up. But when I got to this section, it was way off, so I had to heat it right here and kind of press it down. And that's one of the better things about the thinner ones, even though you can get some air bubbles. Like there's one right there, right towards the end. There's one right there in the middle of the black. They're easier to manipulate, and whenever they wrap around the edges, you can form fit them without wrinkling, and they don't peel up as easy after you've heated them on. So we'll keep moving. Okay, so I manipulated this one, placed it, started right here on the shroud, lined up the hole along the edges, and as you can see, it's not pushed down right there. It's not pushed down along the edges. right here, and then I heated it right in this section to get this flat. And there's a wrinkle here and a wrinkle back here that needs pushed down, and then we need to set it down on here. So in order to move forward, I'm gonna work this wrinkle. Let me get this where you can see it and I can work. But I'm gonna heat this section and this section. See how it's popped up right there? If you just push that down without heating it, it'll pop back up after it sets for a minute or gets cold. So what we'll do is we'll heat that real quick. And it loosens up the vinyl. And then we'll work our way around the hole along the edge and just work along the edge, and don't push down the edges because then we'll heat that again and set that section. And then we're going to work this wrinkle. So if you just push that down, it'll wrinkle, so you have to heat it up. And work around it. And since it's heated, when it pushes together, it squishes the vinyl and sits flat. Same with right here. We'll have a little wrinkle right there if we push that down. So we'll just heat this section. And then push it down. And then when that cools down, the vinyl will tighten up and you'll be able to keep moving with no air bubbles. This one actually turned out pretty good. I started on this top corner, lined up the hole, manipulated it down this way, and then came back up here, fixed a wrinkle right there, and worked my way out. And that one turned out pretty good. On this one, I started in here, worked my way out and then down, and then set this line up here, went across. Need to set that down in the crease a little bit more, but overall it lined up pretty well. All right, we got all the plastics done. Now we're gonna go ahead and put the fender on, the air boxes, and the rear fender, and we should be able to put the plastics back on. And then, actually, you know what? Before we put the plastics back on, I'm going to take a Brillo to the swing arm and then this side to get this sticker residue and blend that polish out so I can make that look a little bit better. So let's go ahead and do that. So I got a little bit of soapy water there. I use warm water with just dish detergent, and then we'll start with this little bit coarse, a little more coarse, and then move over to this little lighter SOS pad or Brillo pad. All right, so we got that residue off with a little brake parts cleaner. Then we took the Brillo pad and scrubbed it to blend the discoloration. And it actually turned out pretty good. I'm gonna hit the lower section a little bit more just to try to get some of the dirt out of the aluminum pores. And then I will use some Mother's aluminum polish to clean the rest of that side up. looking pretty clean. I think that'll suffice. Primary objective was to get it cleaned off and then get that sticker residue off. So we'll do the same thing to the other side so it's uniform, and then we'll put the plastics back on. Now that we got both sides polished out, cleaned up, sticker residue off of there, looks pretty good. We can hit the fenders, swing arm, and airbox with carb cleaner, wipe it off real good, make sure there's no dust, get our heat gun, and start putting the other stickers on. And then after we get the other stickers on, we will go ahead and put the plastics back on, and the bike should be complete. All right, let's zoom in. Got the number plates, front, airbox, rear fender. Do the same thing to the other side. Got to put the fork guards on. Take some new pictures.